Hey everybody, welcome to TK Talks. My name is Todd Keirstead, and what we're going to be doing is we're going to be telling stories of inspiration both on and off the golf course. And today I have a great friend of mine. His name is Cliff Hageman. Cliff, how you doing today?
Hey, what's going on, Todd? Great to see you again. I'm great.
So you've got a two-sided story. The first one is a story of inspiration, and the second one is how you've taken your life and started becoming an advocate. Why don't we first talk about, you grew up in Western New York. What was your upbringing like? Were you a sports guy? I'm sure you were a Bills fan. I'm sure you were a Buffalo Sabres fan with being from Buffalo. Tell me about that.
Oh, yeah, I mean, it kind of comes with it. They put the Buffalo Bills things and Sabres things in your crib when you're a baby. So, yeah, I'm a big Bills fan, a big Sabres fan. Grew up in Buffalo, New York. Moved to Maryland in the year 2000. And I literally just moved to Florida on Christmas Day, December 25th.
Wow.
So growing up in Buffalo was great. It's not the It's not the best of places to fall in love with the sport of golf. You get 2.5 months of true golf weather. But nonetheless, my mom got remarried when I was 11 years old. And my stepfather, Les, introduced me and my brother to the game. And then my uncle, he played at Geneseo, actually. And he was really a big part in my life in golf. And he's been my coach. He's the one who taught me how to play and still does to this day, my whole life. I can call him on the phone and say, hey, it's doing this. And he knows where my hands are at and stuff.
So how old were you when you first got into golf?
I was 11 years old.
Yeah, and at that age you weren't able to drive, so getting back and forth to the golf course, were you taking like public transit or what?
Oh no, man! My brother and I actually used to pull our golf bags on those carts on the back of our bicycles. Man, we used to pedal down to the golf course on Beaver Island State Park on Grand Island. They had a bike path there. We used to go there. There was a little part, a circle. We used to jump off in the woods and look for golf balls, and then we'd find our golf balls and then go to the tee box and lose them again.
What a great story. So let's take a little bit of let's move a little bit forward to where your life took a dramatic change, and why don't you tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah, dramatic is right. September 9th, 2014. At the time I was married. My brother and I were owning and operating a real estate company of 11 years actually. And September 9th, 2014, I stopped at a gas station. I was filling up with gas. I was literally 2 weeks away from my company's annual convention in Anaheim, California. And then I was driving up to play Pebble Beach Golf Course the week after that. So I was playing Pebble Beach in 3 weeks, filling up with gas, thinking about my trip to Pebble Beach. And, things change in a gear shift, in a blink of an eye, in a tick of a second hand. And I came out of that gas station, I made a right, I shifted into second gear, and she was on the left-hand side in a burgundy Mazda 3, down on her phone like this. So I shifted into third. She never looked up. She never hit her brake. She never heard me, never saw me. Hit me. She actually hit me right in my left leg. I went flying off the bike like a helicopter. Slid in the road. I actually thought I was all right. Like when I landed, I actually was like, oh my gosh, how am I okay right now? Until I sat up and saw my leg. The whole thing was completely degloved. I throw my prosthetic up here, like if this was my skin, like it was peeled from my knee all the way down to my ankle. Like I could see through the road. Like it was traumatic to say the least. I actually lost 50% of my blood at the scene. I actually faded out at the scene, like lights out. And I heard the guy yelling, just like the war stuff, like, wake up, wake up. So I opened up my eyes and I said, we have to tie this off. And 3 guys that were there took their shirts off and tied it around my thigh. And that saved my life. That totally saved my life for that time. My brother, I actually faded out and they called my brother. And I faded out when I was talking to him. I was in the hospital for 2 months. I had 23 surgeries in 2 months, every single Tuesday and Friday, with some emergency ones mixed in there. I was having surgery. Almost died 2 additional times in the hospital. I was at Baltimore Shock Trauma. My blood pressure at one point was 42/20, Todd. Dead, like gone. So all of a sudden, like, I remember when my blood pressure was 42/20, like I thought I was gone. Like I'm like, I'm about to die. Like I'm dead. And I woke up and I was still here. And I immediately went like that to my brother. And he said, yes, you still have your leg. Yes, you still have your legs. And man, about 17 days later, the decision came down to, what are we going to do? And, golf, as crazy as this sounds to everybody out there, when I lost my limb, golf was the most important thing. Like, it was the most important thing. If I can't be out on a golf course again, if I can't hit a golf ball the same way, if I can't keep up with my friends, I talk a lot of stuff. The groups that I'm in, we talk a lot of, we have competitive games. And am I going to be able to compete? Can I get out there to the game I love again? And that was a big decision. And the doctor did tell me, it came down to this. He said, if we amputate, or if we try to save it, which we can save it, you're going to have triple the surgeries. That means over 60 surgeries, Todd, that I would have had to save my leg, right? We're always, and then I like to use an analogy, being a public speaker, where's the lesson in that for everybody else? How many things are we hanging on to in our lives that we need to chop off, right? How many things are we clinging to? Bad relationships, work environments, whatever the case may be, we cling to these things. Amputated. There's freedom in that. And, I would have been a mess. I would have been walking around way worse. I mean, I got my life back. And the doctor said to me, if we amputate, so this was September, he said, you will be on the golf course by spring. And I looked at him like he had 5 heads. Like, you're crazy. Like, I can't even sit up and get in the chair next to me and it's touching my bed. You're telling me I'm going to be hitting a golf ball in 6 months? Get out of here with that nonsense. And that's where you came into the picture, my friend. My uncle was talking to me, and you were at an event, and while I was I think it was like right around the time I just got my leg amputated, and he mentioned me to you, and this is what you do. I mean, you work with amputees, you work with people that have physical disabilities, and I've been there. I am a witness. You bring them out to a driving range, and you get them to hit actually anything. I've seen you do it with beach balls first. But when they get to the part where they hit a golf ball, I don't care if they hit it 75 yards, you make an impact on them. There's people that leave there that are better than they were before your tournament or your lesson started. You follow me? You give people a direction. You give something to hope for. So when he said, you amputate this, you'll be golfing by spring, what did he do? He gave me a goal, right? Now I got a goal. Now I got something to focus on. Now I got a vision. Man, can you see yourself golfing? And it doesn't matter who's around you. It doesn't matter who you're married to. It doesn't matter the friends that you have that say, man, you got this, you got this. I mean, I'm a self-motivator. So when I have people around me that support me and I'm already self-motivated, look out, man. Sky's the limit. But that's not the case, as you know, for many, many amputees. This is something that slams you into park, that stops you dead in your tracks, pun intended. I had an interview with the angel of death. Like, what's up? Like, what is going on here? And are you going to change your life? What are you going to do now with your life now that you've been where you've been? Hey, this coronavirus, where's the lesson? What are you going to do when you're allowed to go back out in the streets to change your life? Or are you perfect? Is there nothing you need to change? If that's the case, you're a liar, and this would be a great time for self-reflection, because there's always something we can fix in ourselves, always.
So you took that, slammed it in the park, and man, how fast did it take you to throw that thing in the drive again?
Oh, man. Yeah, great question. Now that I'm here and we can talk about this, it didn't take me long at all, but I was focused on the wrong thing. It didn't take me long to get back to my life of what I thought my life was. Getting back to my agents that were waiting for me and needed me at the office. Getting back to my company so I could run my office and be there for my company who needs Cliff. They don't need me. They don't need me. When you get back and you're rushing back to what? Like, you start going back and doing the things that I just said us ago, I needed to. And one of those things, I'll use the example, right? one of those things is drinking. I was a realtor. I knew all about happy hours. I ran happy hours, right? Alcohol was a part of my life. This is how we recruited people, with alcohol. Every real estate training, there was alcohol. So when I lose my leg and my son is with me for a whole day and he sees me, how much I drank, and in the morning he says, hey, you drank this in the morning, you drank this in the afternoon, you had this, and what are you doing? My son said this to me, Todd. You know, that's a wake-up call. Like, am I gonna let this happen to me and I'm just gonna go back to that life? No, I'm not. And that's why I am so glad that it wasn't an 8-week boot that I was put in, right? God knows best, right? If I was put in an 8-week boot, what would I be doing in 10 weeks? But I'm left with this, man. This is gone forever and ever and ever, right? So every day I look down, I'm legless. Why am I legless, right? Everything good comes from God. Everything bad comes from us, human beings, man. So
let's talk about that advocacy that you're doing right now. So you've had this, you lost your leg, you're back on the track now, playing golf, you're back now into getting your life back. And
yeah,
dude, you had a wake-up call. Like, literally, you had a wake-up call. What are you doing now?
When you, great, oh man, these questions you ask are something else, man. I love it. Yeah, you know, you get back. It's a total wake-up call, and then you make the adjustments on your wake-up call in your life. And the people that are around you may not like those adjustments, right? And they have to adjust as well. And not everybody can adjust. Look, everyone is on their own path. This is your path. So when I get slammed into this, of course, I want to go back to what I know. I want to go back to selling houses. I want to go back to recruiting agents and working with realtors and doing all the stuff that I do. But when I got back to that life that I thought I was chasing, getting back to, it was empty. Like, it literally was empty. Like, you know, I remember specifically 2-3 months after I was getting back, it was over a rental, and I'm listening to this other agent talk to me about cabinets and appliances for like 10 minutes, and I don't care. Where 6 months ago, I would have talked about it for 20 minutes. You follow me? So I got asked to speak at my company's convention, Exit Realty, and I spoke in front of like 2,500 people. One of the people out there, Brad Sanderson from Iowa, invited me to come to Spirit Lake High School in Spirit Lake, Iowa. And I spoke to a bunch of high school kids. And that was more life-changing than me losing my leg. That was more, man, what am I doing? Like, this is where I should be. Like, this is who I should be in front of. And I started this foundation called STAND, Stop Texting and Driving, like Mad Mothers Against Drunk Driving. It's STAND, Stop Texting and Driving, 1D, one leg. And I created this logo, and I know you have some of the things there, but I created this logo, came up with a 1,000,000 magnet drive to put 1,000,000 magnets on the side of 1,000,000 cars to raise the awareness of the life and death dangers of texting and driving. I'm a veteran, so I got these dog tags. These dog tags go over your rear view mirror or around your neck. These are the new baby on boards right here, you know. I started looking at the stats, and the stats are overwhelming of our roadways. 11 kids die every day. Every day, 11 people die from texting and driving. You know, when you're texting, the average text takes 4.6 seconds to send your text. If you're driving 55 miles an hour, that's the length of a football field with you not looking up on your phone. Like, powerful. And then I find myself out this past summer, I was with Adrian Peterson at his football camp. And I got to tell you, when you're standing on a football field telling kids that driving 55 miles an hour, you're driving the length of a football field without looking up, and you're on one, and Adrian Peterson, top 3 all-time rusher in the NFL, is standing next to you too, man, powerful. The message gets out. So I've been in a lot of places. I've been to South by Southwest, the music festival. Oh, Todd, man, when you go there, at the time I was handing out bracelets that said STAND on them. We didn't even have the dog tags yet. And every stoplight I would be at, all of the events that I would go, I'd be handing out these bracelets. And about 4 mornings later, the third morning, 4 mornings later, I'm sitting at this restaurant having crepes on the sidewalk. and there's a father and son holding hands with a bracelet, stop texting and driving, like walking by me. All of a sudden that day, you start seeing everybody wearing these bracelets, like everywhere. And that's the goal. It's, you know, everything, all nonprofits that are started is to raise the awareness of something, right? And this is an epidemic. This is 6 times worse than drunk driving. So, you know, you go out there, you start talking about this stuff, and it changes people. You save their lives, and you get much more. I get much more satisfaction on changing and saving someone's life than, hey, here's your house. You got a house, congratulations. You know, when you can sit with someone in a hospital room that has no idea what is going to happen to them, like I didn't know what was going to happen to me, and you could be someone's guide to say, hey man, you're going to be all right, right? There's nothing like that. Everywhere I go, and you and I have had this conversation personally, right? Every single event that you do, your goal is just to affect one person, right? If just one person is affected and one person does better, even if you have 30 people show up or 300 people. And I'm the same way, whether I'm speaking in front of 1,700 people or 300 people, one person is my goal. Just to go in a different direction, like give you something to think about and make a difference in your life and the people around you.
Well, Cliff, you know what? You are truly making a difference out there. Not only is your story incredible, how you've overcome severe adversity, how you've made a change in your own personal life, but man, you're trying to get to 1 million, and I know you're changing the lives. The STAND Foundation, the STAND program is incredible. It's teaching people, it's raising awareness. You know, those numbers are staggering, but what you're doing, my friend, it's amazing. So I honestly thank you so much for taking the time and being a part of this. I know we're going to put it out there, and I know people are going to be listening, and I know people are going to be taking your message and hopefully thinking about it the next time they get in their car, the next time they receive a text, that maybe, you know what, let's hold off a minute or two until I'm able to pull over or I'm able to get to my destination before I answer that. And I know that's what you're talking about.
Right. This is an addiction, right? Like these cell phones are an addiction. So in all addiction cases, when there has to be a time that we have to control our addiction no matter what. And I think getting in the car is a time that we can control our addiction for 15 minutes, 30 minutes. Where are we going, right? I know you're going to chop this up and cut this up. I do want to touch on something else. Is we start, you know, the other aspect of what I do, like this STAND, I started it where with the concept of raising the awareness, but where this STAND is being led is so much deeper than that. In my recovery with Trauma Survivor Network, with Baltimore Shock Trauma, I attended some of those, and there are 3 P's to an amputee: practice, patience, and perseverance. That video that you and I made together for your Bring Back the Game, I talk about that: practice, patience, perseverance. All amputees need that, and every single one of us need that, especially like right now, right? Practice, patience, and perseverance. We have to have patience until we can figure out what is going on outside of our homes, get a cure, have patience, and persevere till we can get out there again, right? What we choose to practice while we're doing that can have a big effect when we're ready to get back out there. So when I go into high schools, Todd, I actually just got off of a tour. We had our first tour. We went to Iowa again. I spoke to 5,000 high school kids in 2 days. And you know, here I think I'm going out to talk about the life and death dangers of texting and driving and raise awareness. And I bring P's for them. And the P's I brought for them: what's your plan? You know, I recognize those that are going into the military. What's your plan? How many people are going in the military? They raise their hand. Who's going to college? I talk to them about goals. I talk to them about planning. I talk to them about writing things down and vision, right? Things that I've taught agents for years. And then I talk to them about pain and problems. There is no good plan that does not have pain and problems. How badly do you want this? How badly do you want to make that goal? Walls are there, yes, to stop us sometimes, but they're also there to see how bad we want it. Are we going to jump over the wall, go around it, dig under it? Are we going to smash through it? Oh, yeah, like the Kool-Aid man, right? Some walls you're never going to be able to get over, under, or around. That's a protection. That's not where you're supposed to go. So adjust so you go to the direct path. So with me adjusting, I'm going on the road thinking that it's about this. I talk about pain and problems, and then I talk about power and connecting. Where is your power? Where does your power lie? And after I'm done, the kids that would come up to me, I had kids crying, hugging me. I had kids asking me questions, sharing unbelievable things with me based on my P's that I brought, not on the texting and driving. You follow me? So it is empowering that, yes, I have a message and it's a real message. Stop texting and driving. But whoa, I got these P's wherever I am, and let me share a couple of them with you, because I'm sure one of them are going to affect and change your life if you do your own research and, study afterward, my talk, right?
You are making a difference, Cliff. It's amazing to watch your journey, to see your journey, and to see it happening. Man, I want to thank you so much for sharing your story and sharing what you are about, buddy. Thank you so very, very much. And I hope to have you back on TK Talks in the very near future.
Me too. God bless everybody. Thank you very much.